The holidays are here, which means police will be on the lookout for drunk drivers through the new year. If you make a mistake, don't go at it alone. The team at JansenAlfrey is ready to help you if you make a bad decision like drinking and driving. JansenAlfrey, attorneys at law, are members of the Colorado and Denver Bar Association. They belong to the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar and the National College of DUI Defense Attorneys, and they have no complaints registered with the Better Business Bureau. Kurt Alfrey joins us today. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Happy couple days after Thanksgiving.
How was yours?
Mine was very good, and yours?
Filling.
Yeah, mine too. I'm sure you've also got a ton of phone calls.
Sure. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, early Friday morning, even early this morning, for people that over-celebrated.
Sure.
Got in the car and drove.
Right.
You know, checkpoints are up. People probably ran into a checkpoint. What do you recommend for people, maybe in this holiday season, if they see a checkpoint, what should they do?
Well, you have to be given an opportunity to avoid the checkpoint. Sometimes those signs are not as apparent as they should be, but in any event, if you get into a checkpoint, you're going to get funneled in and an officer is going to talk to you. And one of the things, they're moving a lot of people through, and one of the things they're going to ask you is, have you been drinking tonight? Right? You just need to remember, you have rights. You don't need to admit to anything. And frankly, my advice would be, don't. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, I had a couple, like they're talking to their buddy. The police officer may be very nice and professional, and he probably will be. He's not your buddy. And if you start with, well, I've had a couple of drinks tonight, you're probably going to end up spending the night in jail.
Yeah, you're going to get arrested.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. That's their whole point. They're trying to get intoxicated drivers off the road.
Right.
So they're not going to let you just drive away if that's what you say.
All right, now, if someone does make a mistake, and they get behind the wheel and they run into a checkpoint or they get pulled over and they do get charged with DUI, what's the first thing they should do?
Well, of course, the first thing you should do is not make that decision. Even if you feel, I'm okay to drive, that's really the worst time to be making that decision. Do it before you have a glass of wine or whatever. But, if you get contacted, really, you just need to remember the police are evidence gathering. And they will offer you the opportunity to do roadside tests, to do a pen test on the eyes, to do balance tests. Those are voluntary. You do not need to do them. You need to really remember that. You don't have to admit to anything. You don't have to do any testing. If they choose to go ahead and arrest you, okay, but then we can deal with that down the road because you simply haven't filled the paper with evidence. And I would encourage people not to do that.
And should someone contact an attorney right away if they run into this problem?
Well, absolutely. There's a number of things going on. There's the DUI case. There's also the consequences on your driver's license at DMV, and a lot of those have very short time frames. So you do need to call an attorney, whether it's JansenAlfrey or someone else, because you need to have a good fit with your lawyer. You need to have someone with whom you're comfortable, someone that you're comfortable helping you guide you through the system, and frankly, you need to have someone that's going to be ready to go to trial down the road if that's where it goes. Molly and I have been doing this for about 30 years combined. We have hundreds of jury trials under our belt. All we do is criminal law. So you need to find someone that's going to be there for you all the way to the end if you're in such a serious situation as a DUI or any criminal offense.
What is the key to a good defense of someone that does have a DUI?
Well, you need to have someone with enough experience to know how to read the reports, know about breath testing or blood testing if that's what you choose to do, or refusal, and have plenty of experience at DMV because they are very different fights, they're very different fronts, they have different rules, there's different standards. I wouldn't buy a house without a realtor because I don't know that kind of world. I certainly wouldn't go into a criminal courtroom without someone that doesn't know what they're doing. No,
that's another great point. And I like what you said before too, and you said it over and over again, so it's not the first time that we've heard it from you. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Sure.
If you're going to have a drink, don't get behind the wheel.
Well, sure. I mean, but obviously mistakes happen.
Yes.
Poor decision making happens. Fine. That happened. Great. Now what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And you really, there's so much more to it than what people think, and there's so many more ways to attack the evidence. The government has to prove their case. They're the one that arrested you. They're the one that's pointing the finger at you. That's their burden. I mean, we have a trial coming up on Monday. We're gonna make them try to prove their case because it's really not what they say.
Okay. Act quickly if you do get in a situation like this. Call an attorney because the clock starts running, and if you wait too long, it's harder for you to defend them, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Time's of the essence. We can start working on the defense right away. We don't charge for consultations. Call us. We'll have you come in. We'll talk about the case. We want to know what's important to you. Every client is different, and we want to make sure and try to reach your goals.
Excellent. Again, great information as always.
Great.
Happy few days after Thanksgiving, and happy holiday season.
Happy holidays to you too.
All right,
Thanks.
we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. JansenAlfrey wants to ensure that you're represented fairly and informed about the charges against you before you make a bad decision. They're a criminal defense law firm, and they handle everything from traffic offenses to domestic violence to DUI to major felonies. You can call them at 303-297-3500 or visit their website at JansenAlfrey.com. And remember that they offer free consultations. The number again is 303-297-3500. We'll be right back.